American. We're all in this together. So when New York City does well, when New York State does well, it helps the whole country. When California does well, one of the other great engines of the national economy, it helps everyone. I don't think we should be talking about red states and blue states. We should be talking about American states, American cities, how to put America back on its feet. And when I told you about that $7.5 billion, that's revenue that's gone, that pays for cops, firefighters, teachers, sanitation workers. It's gone. And there's no way I'm going to get it back. In fact, Maria, I'm probably going to see more and more revenue gone because our economy won't come back without a stimulus. So I'm simply saying what it's going to take to get us back on our feet.
Right, but you can't blame the COVID-19 for everything. I mean, even before the coronavirus, you had streams of people, individuals and businesses, fleeing the city because of the taxes, fleeing the city because of the homelessness, and fleeing the city because of the inmates that you are letting out. New York City shootings spiked nearly 200% this week compared to the same time a year ago. Crime is up. All the bad stats are up. You know that. So the question becomes about your sanctuary city policies. Mr. Mayor, bottom line, are you willing to sacrifice sanctuary city policies in order to be eligible for this money?
Maria, bottom line first, because I have a lot of respect for you, but you mischaracterized the reality. Crime has been going down overall in this city now for 7 years. We have times when things go up and the NYPD fights them back. NYPD, every single time there's even the smallest spike in crime, fights it back. In terms of the city, some people left and a lot of people came, including we've built more homegrown millionaires in recent years and more millionaires have moved here than any who left. So no, in fact, highest employment in our history, Maria, before this pandemic. This city's been booming. And I want to be clear, it's a city for everyone.
The whole country was experiencing record low unemployment because of the president's tax cut and deregulation plans. That was the president's policies, not New York policies.
Look,
I spoke with one leader of a hospital this weekend, and he said to me, the problem with Mayor de Blasio...
Listen, just simple...
that is talked about around you is people say the problem with Mayor de Blasio is that he hates wealth. He drives rich people out of the city with the amount of regulation and the tax increases that you're driving businesses and individuals out. Let's not even go into the issue of the bail reform law where you had to let all of these inmates out and crime did spike. And we see that continuing so much so that you had to get them back and put them back in jail because as soon as you let them out, they went and they committed more crimes.
Again, Maria, this city is the safest it's been since the 1950s. I have increased the number of
shootings
officers
are up 200% just this week, Mr. Mayor. Shootings are up 200% just this week.
Guess what? The NYPD will fight it back because I added 2,000 more officers on patrol. And for 6 years in a row, now 7, we've reduced crime, and we will continue to. And again,
is there any way you could pull back on your sanctuary city laws and follow the rule of the law when it comes to immigration? Then maybe the Trump administration will want to work with you.
We follow the rule of the law in this city, and we respect the fact there's 500,000 people here who happen to be undocumented. And the U.S. Supreme Court said in 2012 that the federal government does not have, in a federal system that respects states and localities, does not have the ability, because of its own policy preferences, to penalize cities that are trying to provide security and safety. You know the funding that President Trump originally threatened for the city? It was for the NYPD for our anti-terrorism efforts. That makes no sense at all. So we're going to stick to our policies, which the Constitution protects, and we're going to serve our people and create a place that's safe for everyone. And you know what? The NYPD does not ask documentation status because decades ago, Mayor Bloomberg knew this, Mayor Giuliani knew this. To keep a city safe that happens to have hundreds of thousands of undocumented folks, we're not going to ask documentation status. We want to fix immigration in this country. Let's have a comprehensive immigration reform with a path to citizenship for all those who are here now. 12 million people. Let's stop ignoring Maria and denying it and actually deal with it as a country. That's something the Republicans and Democrats might actually get together on, because if we don't, everyone's going to suffer. Our economy's going to suffer. Let's deal with the reality.
What do you want to say? What do you want to say to those people who are horrified by the nursing home situation, where Governor Cuomo allowed coronavirus patients to go into nursing homes? Now we're seeing a dreadful number of people having died at nursing homes. How is that happening on your watch?
We all have to do better. There's no question. We're working with the state, with Governor Cuomo. We've been supplying protective equipment to those nursing homes. We're going to do everything we can. This is a horrible human crisis. I think about these families, Maria. We all have to, the state actually has the regulatory role in terms of regulating nursing homes. We don't, but we're all going to work together to fix this problem because we owe it to the people in those nursing homes and their families.
All right, real quick before you go, Mr. Mayor, we know that the beaches will be open for Memorial Day. Is New York City going to be the last place in the country to open?
Yeah,
yes,
we're not going to do that in New York City, Maria. And you know, you grew up not far from Coney Island. You know that our beaches get very crowded very quickly. We're not going to allow it. So what I said today is we're not opening on Memorial Day as we normally do. For folks in the local communities who walk on the beach, walk on the boardwalk, they can still do that. But no swimming, no lifeguards, no congregating. NYPD will be out there. Parks Department will be out there. If people are smart about it and listen to the rules, great. If not, we actually might have to put up fencing to keep people off the beach. I don't want to do it, but if I have to, I will. We are so far from being out of the woods here in New York City. We're still the epicenter. Until we're safe, no beaches open.
Wow. We all want to get through this together. Mr. Mayor, good to see you. I hope you'll join me soon on Mornings with Maria. We will see you soon.